4,000 Essential English Words. Book 4. Paul Nation. Unit 30. Word list. Bill. A bill is a statement of money owed for goods or a service.
I have so many bills that I do not know how to pay for them all.
Boundary. A boundary is the line where one area of land stops and another begins.
This fence shows the boundary between our yard and yours.
Chaos. Chaos is a situation that is confusing and not ordered.
His presentation was in chaos. I couldn't understand what he meant.
Consistent. If a person is consistent, they keep the same behavior or attitude.
Sarah comes in every day and is our most consistent worker.
Cyclone. A cyclone is a large storm with heavy rain and winds that spin in a circle.
Hundreds of homes were damaged by the cyclone.
Doomed. If someone or something is doomed, they are going to fail or be destroyed.
Since I spent all my money, my date with Jane is doomed.
Heir. An heir is a person who receives money or property of someone who dies.
The princess was the heir to the king and queen's throne.
Martial. If something is martial, it is related to fighting or war.
Karate is a martial art that began many years ago in Japan.
Organic. If food is organic, it is grown without adding chemicals to it.
The organic carrots are more expensive, but they're better for you.
Poultry. Poultry is a bird, such as a chicken, that is used for meat and eggs.
He raises poultry and sells their meat for extra money.
Scramble. To scramble is to move somewhere quickly and desperately.
The hikers scrambled down the side of the hill.
Sergeant. A sergeant is a soldier or police officer of middle rank.
He was promoted to sergeant after a year in the army.
Sheer. If you describe something as sheer, it is complete and very strong.
I was impressed by her sheer dedication to jogging.
Stance. A stance is an attitude about an issue that someone states clearly.
My stance is that using oil and gas is bad for the environment.
Telegraph. A telegraph is a method of sending electric messages on wires.
In the 1900s, the telegraph was the fastest way to send a message.
Textile. Textile is cloth that has been woven or knitted.
The blue textile was going to be used to make blouses.
Tornado. A tornado is a tube-shaped formation of air that spins very quickly.
During a tornado, the safest place is to be underground.
Typhoon. A typhoon is a large tropical storm that moves in circles.
Thousands of people lost electricity after a typhoon hit Australia.
Wail. To wail is to show sadness by crying loudly.
The baby wailed because it was hungry.
Wardrobe. A wardrobe is the collection of all of a person's clothing.
She bought some new clothes to expand her wardrobe. The heirs. Martin, Paul, and Tom were brothers. They were very different, but they were consistent about two things. They couldn't succeed in business, and they never agreed about anything. Martin was a hard-working farmer, growing organic vegetables and raising poultry. But he was disorganized and forgot to pay his bills. Paul owned a textile factory that produced clothes. He was organized, But he was greedy and took too much clothing. His wardrobe was filled with his own products. Tom was once a sergeant in the army. He ran a martial arts school, but his stance on discipline was too strong. He had almost no students. One day, they received a telegraph saying that their father had died. They were heirs to his old farm. They planned to sell it as soon as possible, so they went to see it, even though there was a terrible storm. The house didn't look great, but there was a lot of land. There was so much, in fact, that they could barely see its boundary. Suddenly, the storm got worse. The sheer force of the wind almost knocked them over. Martin said, "Look, it's a typhoon." Paul said, "No, it's a cyclone." Tom said, "No, it's a tornado." They argued until Paul began to wail and said, "Whatever it is, it's coming right at us. We're doomed." The three brothers scrambled inside the old house. Martin said, "If we survive, we must stop fighting. This farm could be great if we fixed it up. With my hard work, Paul's organization, and Tom's discipline, we could run a great business together." The storm finally ended, and luckily it didn't wreck the farm. "Just think," Martin said. "It took the chaos of a typhoon to bring us together." Paul replied, "You mean a cyclone brought us together?" Tom said, "Didn't I tell you both that it was a tornado?" The brothers never agreed on what kind of storm it was, but by combining their skills, they started a successful farm.